good, everyone? I am the Mouth of the South. We are back here today with another video, and it is the very first professional wrestling video done on my channel. Now, if you didn't know, I am a huge fan of professional wrestling, have been ever since I was a kid, around 6 or 7 years old. Grew up with WWE, went back and watched all the old WWF stuff. I've been a fan of ROH, GCW, Impact, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, WCPW, and that was a thing. And now I am the biggest mark for all elite wrestling. And this Sunday is AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and I thought it'd be a very fun idea to just run through the card and give my match predictions, and I'm also going to do a bit of a review after the pay-per-view is done on Sunday. Well, actually, by then it'll be Monday. So this is a very fucking stacked card, being Double or Nothing. I think there's 13 matches in total, so I'll try and run through them as quickly as possible. I'll give a few predictions on the match, where I think it will go, who I think will win, etc, etc. If you have any predictions, let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see just how many we get right. Yes, and to start off, we have the Bane, and on the Bane we have Hookhausen. That's as good as my Danhausen impression is going to get. We have Hook and Hookhausen versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. I think this one's pretty cut and dry after Hook got absolutely buried in his debut match, and then Hook finally shaking his hand. It's bigger than the Mega Powers, like it just is. Fight me. After that, I think it's only fair that Hook and Hookhausen get the win over Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Now, we don't actually know the running order for the rest of the card, so I'm just going to go through match by match. Obviously, the World Championship is going to be last, but the first match that I've got up here is Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti versus the TNT champ Scorpio Sky, who debuted a beautiful LA Lakers influenced belt on Friday's Rampage. All Ego Ethan Page and the debuting former UFC fighter and current Bare Knuckles fighter, Paige Van Sant. And I think simply because it is Paige Van Sant's debut match, surely it's got to go to them. Sammy and Ty have been getting a lot over American Top Team recently, and it's kind of weird because Sammy and Ty are kind of being the heels, but like Frankie's not a heel, but they're against Dan Lambert, so that automatically makes whoever's with Dan Lambert and American Top Team heels. Like, it's a bit of a weird one. The story's been a bit all over the place, but I think it's gonna go to Scorpio, Ethan, and Paige. Next up, we have Death Triangle reunited, and it feels so good. Death Triangle versus the House of Black. Now, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I wear the Kanunos pendant and haven't taken it off since the very moment that I got it, and the fact that I'm getting a House of Black tattoo on Wednesday, and also the fact that, you know, my YouTube logo is 100% not influenced by the House of Black, I'm going with my heart here, and I am saying House of Black, Malachi, Brody, and Buddy Matthews. I feel like they've been stuck in this feud for the longest time, and I would really like them to move on from it. Obviously, this match was scheduled to happen at Revolution, but with Rey Fenix obviously breaking his arm or dislocating it, or he did something to his arm that put him on the shelf for a while. And I think like it's actually gonna go to Death Triangle here because the House can take a loss and they haven't eaten a loss yet, but just please keep the House of Black undefeated. Like, please. Death Triangle, like, they don't need the win. They don't. Just let the Lucha Bros be the Lucha Bros and Pac be Pac. Like, Death Triangle are cool. The House of Black are cooler. Give them the trio titles when they eventually come into play. Next up, we have the Jeff Hardy cosplayers in the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson versus Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. Trademark WWE, so it's actually just the Hardys. And I think this one is going to go to the Hardys. They seem to be on this nostalgia run at the moment. Jeff beating Darby the other week was a massive shock. And I think it's clear that they're going for like one last hurrah and celebration tour around AEW. They're going to get the tag straps eventually. And they will retire on an absolute high. So I think it just has to go to the Hardys here. And maybe we can get a cage or ladder match at All Out. Next up, we have the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finals in Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus Ruby Soho. Now, Ruby actually got a lot of fucking heat on Rampage last night for beating Chris Statlander, but I think it's very obvious that this tournament has been designed to actually finally give Ruby Soho something and to give her the tournament, basically. I think she deserves it, and with the rumours being that the winners are going to get Owen Hart Foundation belts, I think it'd be nice to see Ruby with a belt, even though I'm not that fond of her as a character, and like, I don't get all the hype around her. I personally just think Britt doesn't need it again. Would have been nice for Jamie Hayter to go further in the tournament, but I am biased because Jamie's from my hometown of Southampton, England, which like never fucking happens. And next up we have the Anarchy in the arena match, the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Mox and Bryan Danielson of the Blackpool Combat Club, Santana, Ortiz and Eddie Kingston of LAX. And it's gotta go, it has to go to Mox, Danielson, Ortiz, Santana and Kingston. However, there was slight dissension teased, wasn't there, between Danielson and Kingston because they fucking hate each other. Or at least Kingston hates Danielson. And what if, it's just in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if Danielson accidentally costs the match for Kingston? And then we get the BCC versus LAX as a feud, like bring in Wheeler, and that starts a whole thing. And Mox is very torn between his brotherhood with Kingston and then the Blackpool Combat Club. So fuck it, I'm gonna go Jericho Appreciation Society. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm gonna go JAS for this one. And next up, we have the Salt of the Earth. He is better than you, and you know it. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, versus the War Dog, Wardlow. And I'm giving this to MJF. And do you want to know why? Because then Wardlow can sign with Ring of Honor. Now, obviously, the stipulation for this match is that if Wardlow loses, he cannot sign with AEW. And he is stuck with MJF. Or I think his contract with MJF gets terminated, but he can't sign with AEW, so basically he's fucked. Basically, if Wardlow loses, he cannot sign a contract with AEW. However, we've seen a lot of crossover between ROH and AEW, and seeing as they're both owned by TK, it would make a lot of sense for MJ to pull the rug out from underneath us, because it seems so certain that Wardlow is going to win. Like, it is the classic MJF thing to do, to pull the rug out from underneath us and to win, just like he did, beating CM Punk in Chicago twice. That's right, he beat him twice. 2-1 to MJF in Chicago. MJF feuds are the fucking best, so just imagine MJF beats Wardlow. The next Dynamite, he's having this huge celebratory party. Like, the war pig is gone. Huzzah, MJF. And then all of a sudden, this is war. Wardlow starts to walk down to the ring. Security go to rush him. He stops them, reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a contract signed by TK and Wardlow. He's on Ring of Honor and therefore can appear on AEW television. The security guards part their way. The chairman saw Sean Spears and MJF look like they've seen a ghost. And Wardlow, smug as you like, gives MJF a little wink and just walks towards the ring. Like, imagine how good that would be. Imagine the pop. Like, you don't even have to do it the Dynamite afterwards. Have Max just rinse the fuck out of this. Like, really milk this motherfucker dry for months. Or not months, but for weeks. Give it like a month or so. and then have Wardlow come back. Like, mwah, MJF. Next up, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championships between Jurassic Express in Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs of Team Taz, and Swerve in their glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Now, I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I don't see Team Taz actually winning the titles, and I also don't see Jungle Boy winning. There has been a lot of tension teased between Christian and Jungle Boy, with Christian calling him a loser and all this kind of stuff. And I think Jungle Boy eats the pin, Swerve and Lee walk out as champions. Christian goes to pick Jungle Boy up. Disappointed Dad's like, I'm sorry, Dad. It's fine. You fucking loser! And just, he turns heel. Christian finally turns heel. And all Luchasaurus can do is watch in shock. So yeah, Swerve in their glory. They're walking away with the tag straps. Then we have the AEW Women's World Championship in, honestly, the least built match on the card. Like, it's just whatever. It is Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. The build to this feud has been so lackluster. The promos have not been good. And it's just, it really feels like a whatever feud. I feel really bad for Thunder Rosa because since winning the title, she's had nothing feuds and no one has ever seemed like an actual threat to her reign. So yeah, it's just going to be Thunder Rosa. Now we have the TBS Women's Championship, and I think the most obvious choice on the card, it is Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay, and if you're not picking Jade Cargill, you're a fucking idiot. Let's be honest, Jade isn't dropping that TBS Championship anytime soon, and Mummy is going to walk away with the championship held high. And finally, we have possibly the hardest decision of the night. AEW World Championship. The champion, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, PG Punk. Honestly, the storylines this could go down is so all over the place. Punk is in Hangman's head, and it is either going to go one of two ways. We are either going to get Punk winning because he tapped into Hangman's insecurities, and then we're going to get heel Punk, and it's going to be like a slow reveal of Punk just like, I've been heel all this time. You just lapped it up. You people just lapped it up. And MJF can go, I was right. And Hangman can go, I was right. And Eddie Kingston can go, I was right. Or it's going to be Hangman beats Punk and proves that he is beaten his insecurities and he is willing to go past Punk and he's not going to play into his little games. Or we're going to get that exact same story, but Punk then going, okay, Hangman, didn't get in your head. We'll see. And then we'll do a big build to All Out where Punk is eventually crowned champion. I think before the end of the year, we are going to see CM Punk crowned as AEW champion. Do I think that happens this Sunday? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this Sunday, the Hangman, my champion, he walks away with the strap. And those are my predictions for AEW Double or Nothing. I will hopefully have a review of the show out on Monday. And thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, join the Dark Kings cult in my Patreon down below. Join the Discord, the House of Mouth, that is down below as well. And shout out to Devin Duarte of Worm Shepherd for basically telling me, hey, just do some wrestling content, please. Like, massive shout out to Devin. You're the fucking homie, brother. And other than that, you've been wonderful people. I've been the Mouth of the South. And as always, you guys are the real motherfucking heroes. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace out.